the podcast or multimedia show where we talk about real shit that happens to real people and real solutions to real problems. So today I want to talk about something really, really important. And I want to start with a question. How many of you, when you've gone through something, you hear this old cliche, everything is going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. And listen, if people say that to you, they mean well. I'm almost certain of that. And if you've said it to other people, I'm sure you meant well because I too have said it to people and I meant well. However, I want to say something to you, and this is going to shock you. This is going to shake up your foundation. But guess what? Everything isn't going to be all right. I mean, there are things that happen when you endure death, divorce, the loss of a job, the loss of a business. Listen, the end game is not always all right. Sometimes the situation ends in a really fucked up way. But there's hope. This is a message of hope because, if it doesn't kill you, you have hope. If it doesn't result in your own fatality, there's a good chance that you can recover from this. Now, one of the things, people say, well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's not true. Some things just absolutely kill you. And this is why some people, they lose hope and they wind up taking their own lives and things like that. And that's sad. That's tragic. I hate when that happens. And let me tell you something. I too, moment of confession, I too have considered or contemplated taking my own life when I was going through something really, really tough. But there are two things that sustain me and help me not do something harmful to myself. Number one, you need to have a relationship with yourself. You need to learn how to know yourself, deal with yourself, love yourself, and most of all, like yourself, because you're the person that you're going to spend the most time with in your entire life. So you're going to have to take care of you. The kindest words that you will ever hear spoken to you will be spoken to you by yourself. And the harshest, most hurtful words ever spoken to you will be spoken to you by yourself. So you have to fix the relationship with yourself. You must cultivate a relationship with you. That's number one. Number two, you need to have a relationship with others. You have to have people who believe in you like you've learned to believe in yourself. Now, watch this. When you cultivate this relationship with yourself, you will learn to believe in you. And when you believe in yourself, you exude a certain confidence that is attractive to other people. And those people will in turn begin to believe in you. Listen, I am right now experiencing the greatest happiness I have ever experienced in my life, in my entire life, almost 62 years walking the earth. I'm happier than I've ever been. And at the same time, I'm enduring what may be the greatest trial of my life. Or I won't say it's the greatest one, but it certainly is up there. And the reality is what allows me to endure this is, number one, I know Derrick. I love Derrick. I like Derrick. And I speak kind words to Derrick on a regular basis. I encourage myself. And over the years, I have cultivated relationships with others who in turn believe in me. And so when I'm down, when I'm going through something, and the people that are in my dot, that is the inner circle of my inner circle, when I'm talking to them and I'm sharing with them, they know what I'm going through. They keep me encouraged. They are always relentlessly saying to me, dude, this is tough. You may have to go through some shit, but guess what? If you survive this physically, you have hope. And that's the message of hope, that if what is final is not fatal, and you have a chance to turn it around. Things may not be the way you want them to be. You may not come out in an ideal situation, in an ideal set of circumstances, but you have hope because you have life. And as long as you can protect your life when you're going through what you're going through, you can pull it out. You can get to the other side. It may not be exactly what you want. It may not be the ideal situation. You may lose some things, but guess what? You'll have hope. Another thing too, a wise person said to me is that sometimes these things happen as an exercise in humility. It teach you to humble yourself. Now, I'm on the record of saying that humility is overrated, but I'm not going to say that humility is valueless, because there is something to not thinking too highly of yourself. You want to think highly of yourself. You don't want to be self-deprecating, but at the same time, you have to put the restraints on. And sometimes situations and circumstances that, and I don't think that they're orchestrated to humble you or to bring you down to earth. But I think that these things happen, and you have to recognize that, hey, I need to reevaluate myself and how I interface with others, with how I interface with the world, how I interface with myself, and to not really get too high on myself. So yeah, there is something to humility in that regard when you're going through things. But most of all, this is the most important thing. One, cultivate a healthy relationship with yourself, a healthy dialogue with yourself. Speak kind words to yourself, speak encouraging words to yourself, edify yourself, lift yourself up, right? And at the same time, as you're doing this, you're going to be attracting others and cultivating relationships with people who are going to believe in you. They are going to uplift you, encourage you, edify you, exhort you to do greater things. So you need to have these two things. And again, when people say everything is going to be all right, it may not be. It may not be. I was thinking about this one time. That a friend of mine was injured in a car accident, and he lost his ability to walk. And people said, "Don't worry, dude. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay." No, it's not going to be okay. You're not. He's not going to walk again, and that's fucked up. But he's still alive, and he encourages himself. He has people around him who encourage him, and he keeps it moving. That's the key. That is the key. You have to have something and someone. Now, let me say this also, that the people who are around you for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Sometimes people are around you just because you have something to give to them, or you have something to get from them. There are some people that are around you for a period of time. It may be someone that it's a high school friend, or a military friend, or a college buddy, a work buddy. It could be any one of those things, and they come and go. And then they say that there are people that are there for a lifetime. Well, there are some people that are there for a lifetime, but guess what? Even people who seem to be permanent fixtures in your life, they come and go. Um, Situations and circumstances change in their lives. And what you have to realize is that when these people go, it's okay to mourn the loss of the friendship. It's okay to mourn the loss of the relationship, but you don't want to get hammered by that. You don't want to get beaten down by that. You have to figure out how to pick it up and keep it moving. Don't let people exacerbate your circumstances. So I say all this to say is that this is really, I want to say I'm preaching to myself, as we used to say. I used to say when I was preaching, I'm preaching to myself. I'm preaching myself happy. Why? Because yeah, I'm going through some stuff, but I'm actually in the midst of the happiest happiness that I've ever experienced. And that and the person who's at the epicenter of my happiness, she's here helping me walk through this and go through this, but she's also the source of my happiness. So I'm like, um, and then on top of that, I have friends like my oldest friend. We've been friends since we were two. He is constantly, reminding me, "Hey, dog, you got this. You're gonna do this." And here's the other thing too: learn to empathize with people instead of giving them empty platitude and just say, "Well, everything is going to be okay." In the Jewish culture, they have something they call sitting Shiva. And sitting Shiva just means that when people are mourning or grieving, that all you do is you just come and be in their presence. You sit with them. Sometimes it's better to sit with someone in silence than to try to say something that is not going to be productive. You want to make sure that whatever you say is going to be helpful. And if it's not going to be helpful, I mean, really evaluate this. Evaluate your words before you say. I mean, basically, you need to put a filter on your mouth that's governed by your thoughts and say, "I'm not going to say something that's going to be harmful." And if you do this, you'll sometimes silence is the better option. Sometimes it's better just to keep your mouth shut. And I've learned that too. So you want to be sitting Shiva, native atheist, sitting, like sitting down. You're basically sitting in the presence of someone. And um, but anyway, think about what you're saying. Make sure that ask yourself, is what I'm saying, is it helpful? Is it edifying? Is it encouraging? Or is it harmful? And if it's harmful, then just stop. Be silent. Okay. And don't give people empty platitudes. Saying everything is going to be all right, it sounds good. It's one of those things that's it sounds nice, but guess what? It's not helpful. It's not helpful, and frankly, it's not hopeful because sometimes if you lose a loved one, if you experience the end of a marriage, you experience the loss of a job, loss of a business, loss of a friendship. it- you know, it's not okay. It's fucked up. And sometimes you just have to acknowledge that. And when you're dealing with someone who's experiencing that kind of loss, you have to understand that it is fucked up for them. So if you can't say something that's encouraging, be silent. Sit with them. Give them the gift of your presence and keep it moving. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that you guys heard something that'll help you. Don't and listen, don't tell yourself everything is going to be all right. What you should tell yourself is, uh, if this doesn't kill me, I have life, and therefore I have hope. And I may have to create a new set of circumstances and hopefully a better set of circumstances um, to help overcome the loss. But don't give yourself platitudes either. It's good to be affirming, to give yourself affirmations, to speak positive things, but don't give yourself false hope. You say that if this doesn't turn out okay, this is an opportunity for me to build something new. So that's it. Be sure to check out Freology Friday with myself and Aaron Tomlinson. We have a really good time every Friday night. Go back and check out last week's episode or this past Friday's episode. And we were um, uh, we're having a good time. We drink, we cuss, and we talk about a lot of different subjects. And I highly encourage you to check that out. Also, Aaron Tomlinson will be going live a little bit later. You want to make sure that you check him out. Check out Tommy and Matt. They do the Humanity on Tuesday night, and then there's Jimmy Ligon who does on Religious on Thursday nights. And listen, a good family of shows that cause you to think, prompt you to think, and also please be sure to check out my blog on Pathos. It's called Love Minus Religion. And I've laid down a couple of really good articles in the last couple of weeks, and they've gotten a lot of traction. And a lot of people have read this and said, "Wow, that's really profound." And I'm not saying that I'm so suchy much. I think I'm a good writer, but what I love to do, whether I'm writing or whether I'm speaking, I like to make people think. And if I make you think, then hey, I've done a great job. So until the next time, may you be happy. May you be well. May you be filled with peace. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I will see you next week.